So I'm trying something different this week. Instead of going live and doing this reading live, which I actually do enjoy doing, but it can be a little bit stressful, especially when I have the doorbell ringing or things like that. It gets a little bit unpredictable. Anyway, this week, what I am doing is just kind of pre-recording this so that you get just the direct messages. I tell you a little bit about the deck and my history with the deck, and then you can follow up with the written report later on my blog on charlottesweetbella.com. Anyway, so we're going to get straight to it. This week I am working with the Hanson Roberts Tarot deck. This was literally my very first deck that I bought when I was 17 years old. I was working in Wilson's Leather. This woman that I worked with, Sandy, she taught me how to read tarot cards with the Tarot of the Cat People deck. And then I snuck out on my own and I bought my own deck, and it came with its own book, which is somewhere around here. But this is the one I learned to use first, and the one that I have given probably the most readings on all throughout college. And so we're kind of going for nostalgia today with this deck. So where we are this week is the Nine of Swords reversed. And so the Nine of Swords reversed, what I enjoy about this being right here is it is the Nightmare card. This is the card that, really encompasses our traumas, our trials, our nightmares, and the things that are really down deep in the soul and the mind that can really disrupt and unnerve us. But it's reversed here. So that means that the nightmare is coming to an end. We can finally exhale a little bit. The crisis is over. Not to say that there aren't going to be crises and that there aren't going to be things happening for all of us around the world, but it does mean that we have a little bit of space and room to breathe, where we're not actively having to protect and guard ourselves all the time. Next up for advice from our guides is the Empress Reversed. Now, the Empress is that divine feminine energy that is nurturing, that provides comfort and care, and really has that kind of idealized mother sort of energy to her. When she is reversed, we are going down a road where we are either having to examine the mother wound, and I think all of us have it on some level, or we are ourselves starting to embody that sort of toxic feminine archetypes that are, constantly stuck in their woundedness or narcissism and things like that. So really focus on that mother wound this week within ourselves and recognize that others are probably dealing with it too. This is from our guides, so this is a really kind of big picture thing. So usually the mark of a good reading for me is when I get a lot of major cards. And so there are going to be a lot of major cards in this reading. And this deck is the one that taught me that. Here we have Lady Gaia, Mother Earth, talking to us through the Chariot card. And the Chariot card is just a fabulous confirmation of stay on the path that we're on. We actually have control of all the things that we need to be able to move forward with our plans, to actually execute all the things that we really want to do, and especially those things where we are working in conjunction with Mother Earth, whether that's taking on new Earth-centric practices, whether that's getting involved in food justice, whether that is cleaning up the environment or planning a garden for next year. All of those things, start moving forward on that right now. That's actually going to be very well indicated right now. So our ancestors this week have a bit of a sense of humor because they brought up the death card. And so, they're dead. And it is also just kind of messing with us a little bit because the death card is such a misunderstood card, a misapplied card. It's about transformation. The entirety of the journey that we've been on with our ancestors, especially since Dia de los Muertos, has been about that personal transformation. Like, use our knowledge, use our wisdom, use our memories to transform your world so that you don't do the same things that we did, because some of the things that we did really didn't work out for y'all. So please learn from us, please listen to us, and please integrate that. And that integration will cause a death of the current world. So that's something that we just have to be prepared for, because we have to stop resisting it and we need to start learning to let go. So our future selves this week are talking to us through the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords, if you notice, she's blindfolded, she's bound, she is surrounded by swords. But this is a prison of her own making. This doesn't have to be your reality. And so our future selves are telling us, don't get so wrapped up in the overthink and, thinking so far ahead that you then are sort of stuck in inertia because of, just overwhelm and not being able to make a decision or a choice. So our future selves are just warning us, don't get so wrapped up in the overthink that you fail to actually do the thing. Right now we have a lot of really good energetic cards telling us to go do the thing. So that's kind of the advice here from our future selves, is don't hold yourself back just because of what others' expectations are of yourself. You can free yourself from this prison. So Mother Mary comes to us with a plan for integration with the Hanged Man. So she's also being sassy again this week, because she's telling us that the way that we can integrate this and transition from this big death that our ancestors are talking about without getting drawn into the overthinking and everything else is we have to change our perspective. We absolutely have to shift our viewpoint away from those well-worn grooves that we have been so used to analyzing our world with. We need to upend capitalism. We need to upend the way that influences how we think and how we feel about ourselves. So many of the ties that bind can be resolved by just viewing it a different way, so that we aren't so restrained by these things that we can use them as tools instead. And out of nowhere, we got the Knight of Pentacles that just kind of came out as I was pulling the cards for the reading this week. And the Knights are really good active energy. They're not about planning, they're about execution. They're not about an analysis, they're about initiation. And so here with the Pentacles, this is about our material world. This is our physical world. This is our bread and butter world. And so all the plans that you have now is a really good time for us to be enacting and taking those steps and those actions that we need in order to realize our dreams. So take that first step, like have your to-do list, start checking off stuff on your to-do list, because the energy is really right for that this week.